Are there any questions from members of the committee? Alder Hurt?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And again, thank you, Mr. Bello. How many youth are we servicing?
So the goal is to, well, we initially wanted to service around 30 to 40. With the $10,000 that's been allocated, we would probably have to reduce that to about half of that, maybe a quarter of that. But it allows us the opportunity to start at the ground level and start building it up again. We've already engaged with multiple nonprofit organizations to collaborate on providing enrichment programming that includes sports coaching, music lessons, arts and culture, crafts.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any other members of the committee have any questions? Seeing none, thank you, Mr. Bello.
Thank you.
Page 69, Clifford Beers. Page 69, Clifford Beers. Please state your name and address for the record, please. You have 3 minutes.
There's two of us. Christine, do you want to go first?
Sure. I'm just trying to turn on my video, which I can't seem to figure out.
I'll go. My name is Tirza Kemp. I'm the Director of Community and Family Engagement at Clifford Beers. And our address is 93 Edward Street, New Haven.
And
Thank you.
hello, I'm Christine Montgomery. I'm Vice President of School and Community-Based Services at Clifford Beers. Thank you so much for inviting us tonight. We have requested $15,000 to support our school-based care coordination programming. Clifford Beers has a long history of providing services within New Haven Public Schools, and often we have dollars from other resources. For the past 8 years, we've had state level and philanthropic dollars to support our school-based clinical and care coordination programming. We have a very strong partnership with the district, in particular with Tiffany Jackson, with Gemma Joseph Lumpkin, Kerm Carolina, and their teams. We anticipate some changes in our funding. So we have requested funding for care coordination, and I'm going to turn it over to Tirza Kemp, who will tell you about our care coordination services.
So I oversee all of our community-based care coordination services, and essentially we practice the wraparound model, which is out of Milwaukee, and we work with the whole family. So we have care coordinators in the schools who make sure families who are needing care coordination receive basic screening connections, connections to service providers. And again, this is for the whole family. So although it might be the identified child within the school system, we work with whoever is in the home, who's ever connected to this family, as well as service providers, school administrators, and we create what we call family team meetings to really come from a strength-based perspective and figuring out what are the needs of these families, very complex needs, and getting them the services that they need. We also provide evidence-based and trauma-informed treatments.
You have 1 minute.
We can do that on the school ground. We have clinicians that we can connect our care coordinators to. So I'm going to leave it there just in case I need to open it up for questions.
You can use your whole minute. We're going to have
questions. I could use my whole minute. Thank you.
Yes, you can.
45 seconds now.
So let me keep reading. So we work with the school staff. We work with other people involved. All of our staff is culturally competent. I really ensure that we enforce an equity lens in the work that we do to ensure that we're serving our community as a whole. And I'll leave it there.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the committee? I see Alder Frank Douglas.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, ladies. So my question is about the enrollment or to apply, or what's the process for a young person, a family with a child who is in crisis, has issues, and would like to get some of your service? How easy? How is it? How quickly can they get the service from you? Is it a long process, or what is the process?
So depending on which service we're talking about at Clifford Beers, we have open access and live triage. So when someone calls, we look to schedule them for, if they're looking for clinical outpatient services within 2 weeks of their call. We also have a mobile crisis program funded through the state. So if someone is in crisis and needs our services right away, we can deploy someone within 45 minutes to their home. Those are other funded services, not necessarily part of care coordination, but I just wanted to make sure everyone knew that. Our care coordination referrals are often through the schools. We attend a lot of the school meetings, their attendance meetings. They're very concerned about chronic absenteeism right now. So we're participating in different attendance meetings around the school. And if they identify a family in need of services, we have a very quick referral form the school staff uses, with permission from the family, to refer to Clifford Beers. And we then reach out to the family within a couple of days to then process their referral and begin and come up with a plan to begin their services. I will tell you, the needs for care coordination this year have been blown out.
Proportion. Yeah, I can imagine.
And like we received almost 300 referrals for care coordination this year from New Haven Public Schools, which is a multi-fold increase. We typically service about 70 families a year. So again, getting 300 referrals is a sizable increase. We currently do have a waiting list as a result. But even with that, we're assigning people from other programs to call and check in with families and provide them resources until we can offer them the full care coordination services.
Thank you. And that's the reason why I asked that question, because of the past situation we were in with the pandemic, and not having the direct contact with the schools. I guess the people can just make that direct phone call to you.
Yep.
Okay.
So we have been embedded in the schools still. We've been partnering with the schools throughout the pandemic. Actually, as soon as the pandemic shut down the schools, we started weekly meetings with New Haven Public School leadership and the principals to really make sure that the families that were needing our services were able to access them. We're now at a point where the need has exceeded our capacity, but even with that, like I said, we're pulling in other programs to really continue to provide supportive phone calls and check-ins with families while they're waiting for our care coordination services, which are still home-based. We are still sending people into the community through our mobile crisis program and through our other home visiting programs.
I've also increased caseloads from 10 to 15. And so each care coordinator has increased in their caseload.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that information. It's very useful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Are there any more questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you for your testimony. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We're going to stay on page 69. We want to continuum of care.
Good evening. My name is Deborah Cox, and I'm from Continuum of Care, and we are located at 109 Legion Avenue in New Haven. Thank you so much for this opportunity to speak to you again tonight. The purpose of the grant that we submitted was to provide discounted lawn services to seniors or people with disabilities who are considered low or extremely low income levels. At the same time, the services will be provided by individuals with mental illness and or developmental disabilities, people who struggle for work and they're in our apprentice program. So they're learning skills at the same time. So it's a kind of a two-pronged benefit. We expect that we are requesting $32,334 for a $49,000 project. The discount that the recipients, the seniors and or the individuals with disabilities will receive, is lawn care services, mowing, hedge cutting, and so forth at a third of the normal price. We've been doing this service for over 6 years and this apprentice program for 6 years, and it's been highly successful. And it gives individuals the opportunity to work who never thought they could ever work. And it also provides, a wonderful service for individuals who couldn't otherwise afford it. And it's great for the community because it helps with the upkeep of the neighborhoods. Are there any questions?
Any questions from the committee? I do have Alder Carmen Rodriguez.
Hello.
Thank you so much. So you would be providing these services to the seniors residents in the neighborhoods?
Correct.
Okay, and is there an application that folks will be submitting to you?
We normally just ask them to fill out a form, just to, because it helps us keep our records, and it's an app, we will do it as needed, but just a form for them to say who they are, their address, and the city provides us with an income level. So we just say, do you qualify in these various income levels? And they check the box.
So there's no verification if they meet the qualifications.
Correct. We wouldn't do that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much. I know it's a lot and you do wonderful work to, be here. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I did have a question.
Me too.
Okay, so
My apologies.
no, stay on. I'm
Okay.
gonna give him my opportunity to answer his question.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you for being here, Ms. Cox. This service that you provide, is it the individuals that are overseeing the project, are they staff members of Continuum Care or are they other vendors?
No, they are staff members of Continuum of Care. That's what makes our programs pretty unique. It's a very highly supervised program. The people that we serve require a lot of supervision. And in the mental illness field, that's hard to find in these kinds of apprentice work training programs. So yes, absolutely, we have staff on site.
And one more question, is this just for New Haven or the greater New Haven area?
We will serve the greater New Haven area, but this particular grant is just for New Haven.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And once again, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
Alder Edwards has a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just had a brief question. What is the name of that actual program within your Continuum of Care program?
We just call it the apprentice program, the Continuum of Care apprentice program.
Okay, that's the only question I have. Thank you, Ms. Cox, and thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much.
I don't see any more hands raised at the time. Oh, Alder Douglas?
Yes, through you, Mr.
Alder.
Chair. Can you just give us a number of how many are testifying tonight, please?
We have 19.
19. Okay, my bad. I think I told you 12 earlier. I'm sorry. Okay, thank you very much. 19. Okay, thank you very.
You're very welcome. And we are at 8. Okay, just for the number to be thrown out there. But thank you again, Ms. Deborah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So we're going, yeah. So we having a lot of technical difficulties back and forth on my end. So I apologize. I really apologize. But the show must go on. That's why there's 2 chairs instead of 1 tonight. Okay. All right. So we're going to be moving on to Edgewood PTA Childhood, page 69. Please state your name, address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you. Justenia Rivera, 133 West Rock Avenue in New Haven. Good evening, committee members and co-chairs Alder Brackeen and Alder Wingate. I am the program director at Edgewood PTA Childcare Program, which is a program designed to meet the needs of the Edgewood families who are parents who need affordable childcare while they're working and children who need high quality care during before and after school hours. The program aims to provide a wide range of developmentally appropriate activities which allow children to spend their leisure time productively in a safe, loving, nurturing, and stimulating environment. We pride ourselves on being able to offer affordable childcare on a sliding fee scale basis to our families. The program has operated this program at Edgewood Magnet School for 24 years now, and I've been the program director for the last 22. While under my leadership, the program went from a school PTA program to a private 501c3, and we've also become a licensed child daycare center by the Connecticut Office of Early Childhood. The program staff, including myself, are all certified to administer first aid, CPR, medications, injectable medications, and AED. And the staff are also trained as DCF mandated reporters. Before we closed due to the pandemic, we provided before and after school childcare to 50 students, offering a healthy snack, homework help, arts and crafts, and indoor-outdoor games. We'd like to continue to offer the program on a sliding fee scale for those families who cannot afford to pay the full tuition, while also adding tutoring and other enrichment activities. We initially requested $50,000 in CDBG funding. With the funds requested, the intent was to increase the slots from 50 to 70 students in the after-school program, while still continuing to offer the before-school program and after-school childcare slots on a sliding fee scale tuition. We will hire an additional 4 to 5 assistant teachers in order to maintain the student-teacher ratios per the Connecticut's Office of Early Childhood. And we also plan on adding enrichment programs such as art, culture, instruments, dance, and tutoring. The program will continue to be held at Edgewood Magnet School in New Haven. And while Edgewood PTA Childcare is a private before and after school program licensed by the Office of Early Childhood, the New Haven Public Schools provide an in-kind contribution of space. And we also receive snacks from the Connecticut State Department of Education's after-school snack program. We'll continue to run the program before and after school during the New Haven Public Schools calendar year. The morning hours are 7:30 in the morning to 8:20, and then again from 3 to 6 p.m. And on the New Haven Public Schools half days, the program will run 12:30 to 6 p.m.
Time.
I'd like.
Thank you for your testimony. I want to give you 10 seconds to wrap it up.
Just to say that we had received funding from CDBG for this fiscal year. However, we're not able to use it because obviously the schools are closed, and so the program has been closed. So we're asking that you extend the funding time to December 31st of 2021.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? I see Alder Kim Evers.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Rivera, you stated you were trying to hire 4 to 5 more assistant teachers, and I don't know if I missed it, but how many do you currently have on staff?
So when we ended the program right before the pandemic, we had five staff because we had 50 children. However, because of the closures, we've lost some staff. So we're gonna have to rehire 4 to 5 staff persons.
Okay, so you're almost starting from scratch with your staff at this point.
With the staff, yeah, and plus because we'd like to add more spaces, so that's also the increase for staffing.
Okay, and it looks like your projected cost of your project is about $127,000. What other sources of funding do you anticipate?
So the other sources of funding that we have are parent tuition, and that's on a sliding fee scale basis.
Okay, so just parent tuition, no DALIO grants, no state grants, no nothing at this point?
No, not at this point. We have applied, but I don't know anything yet if we would receive anything.
Okay, thank you very much. I have no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. Anyone else from the committee have a question? Okay, seeing none. Thank you for your testimony tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you again. So we will be moving on to page 71, Inspired Communities. Please raise your hand. That will be Kim Harris. Yep. This is crazy. Okay. She's coming in.
Yes, hello.
Hello, please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 whole minutes.
Thank you so much. Thank you to our honorable alders for the opportunity to speak tonight on the city support of Inspired Communities, Inc. My name is Kim Harris, Board Chair of Inspired Communities, Inc., 29 Lander Street. Our mission at Inspired Communities, Inc. is to share information and experiences that inspire, empower, and educate community builders. We are changing New Hallville's narrative so that people can build community and local economy vibrancy. We are from New Hallville, we are for New Hallville, and we are the door to community building possibilities. Tonight, I am here to testify for our Inspired Youth Institute and our Inspired Adults Institute. Both institutes are designed to help lift up the residents of New Hallville and create inspiration and opportunity. The Youth Inspired Institute has 2 tracks. One would be our media, and the other one would be our community building, where we would build leadership for the future. Our Adult Institute has 2 tracks as well. Community building for leadership, and our goal is to reimagine the early childhood industry. As most people know, the industry has suffered a hit, as the lady before us was just talking about. We are going to build up the industry with people who want to start their own businesses utilizing their own talents and skills. So for instance, if somebody wanted to start a business for a dance school, they would get training from Inspired Institute, and we would show them how they can partner with other early childhood businesses. We are connected with about 30 different early childhood businesses.
1 minute.
That are really suffering for help to train, to develop, and to cultivate our next generation. And I think with that being said, I will stop right there and let you ask some questions.
I will allow you to go for another minute because you have 2 items.
Yeah, okay.
So I will let you proceed in reference to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For our Youth Institute, we requested 80,000, and for our Adult Institute, we requested 73,000. Now, the unique piece of what's happening with what we do is that there's a real tough hour or hours for children and for adults between the hours of 3 and 7 p.m. in the evening. There's not a lot going on. Camps are out, and some children are even left at home by themselves to fend for themselves. With this particular program, we are going to be opening the doors so that children would have opportunities between the hours of 3 and 7 p.m. And adults, once they come home from work, they can actually formulate themselves so that they can start building their businesses and their legacies. This is a very, very important piece, especially in New Hallville and other underserved communities or communities of need.
10 seconds.
Leadership is something that we just need to cultivate in our community.
Time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for all the work that you do in New Hallville. I've been a part of some of your initiatives, and I just want to say thank you personally on this Zoom at this time. Are there
Are there any
Froze up.
questions from members of the committee? Are there any other questions from members of the committee? Alder Douglas.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Kim. Just where you said open the doors, where are you opening, where are you working out of
So
right now?
we have some donated space from Harrison Tucker School, and we're getting ready to sign our lease for the Inspired Institute brick and mortar on the corner of Shelton and Bassett, the old laundromat. The address is 243 Shelton Avenue.
Thank you. Thank you. Great
Any
work.
other questions?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Any
just
other
great
questions
work.
from members? Oh, sorry.
That's right. Keep up the good work. We're rooting for you to continue your work. So thank you very much.
Great. Alder
Thank
Edwards.
you, Mr. Chairs.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Kim, I just have one quick question.
Sure.
These programs, they sound like they're going to be running concurrently. In the youth part of it, are some of the youth going to be youth that are in that program, almost like a service for some of the parents that are part of your adult institute?
Absolutely. Our goal is to take away all the barriers that might stop somebody from just being able to make a difference in their lives. Transportation, childcare, but we're flipping it. We're calling it an institute. It's not just going to be childcare. They're going to be there learning. It's not a fun and game, come and play.
Okay.
You're going to learn how to build your community up. Absolutely.
Is it exclusively for the children of the people in your institute, or do you have slots for other children?
We have slots for other children. Absolutely.
Okay. I have no further questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ron, if you are able to transfer the hosting over to me, that would be greatly appreciated. Any other questions from members of the committee? Seeing none, thank you so much, Ms. Kim, for your testimony and the great work. Members of the committee, if you can lower your hands, that would be greatly appreciated. You're going to have to give me a moment. I have now just received the hosting powers. So pressure is on. Just give me a moment as I address this. Okay. Next, we have Mary Wade Home. Please raise your hand.
Where is the participants?
Okay, Mr. Hunter, please state your name and address for the record. You are on mute.
Yeah, thank you. Got that too. I'm sorry. Good evening, all. Thank you for all of the work you're doing for the city and its citizens. I'm David Hunter. I am the president and CEO of Mary Wade, and I live at 853 Allen Avenue in Cheshire. And I'm here tonight. I think I made a mistake last week, but I think it's for the transportation program. Alder Brackeen, is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. I just didn't want to waste my 3 minutes. Mary Wade Home for about 10 years has been providing a fairly unique transportation program in the sense that it's based solely on funding, mainly from the federal government through the Older Americans Title 3B Act. This is confusing stuff, but we get it through the Agency on Aging. And we apply to the city for CDBG funds to help us with this program. It's the only program that Title 3B allows us to use to supplement the funding that they provide to us. And that funding only allows us to receive 70% of the cost of our transportation. So historically, we have been using the CDBG funds to fund the wages of the driver. This program is for people of New Haven that are over the age of 60 and older, who do not have Title 19 funding, but whose, in many cases, income levels fall below the poverty level and require medical transportation. And so they need to get to and from a doctor's office or to and from a dentist's office. And we're able to provide this transportation funding, transportation to them through this funding. It is a requirement of the federal grant.
1 minute.
Thank you. That we request donations. And so, normally in some cases we'll get $1 or $2 from people who want to support the transportation. And this, I think, it's a vital program. It's been struggling due to the lack of funding from CDBG for the last 2 years. And we also had a cut in funding from the federal government as well. And of course, this has been a horrendous year
30 seconds.
with COVID. And so we're in the process now of rebuilding our program and our services to the people in the community who are isolated and need these services that we can provide to them.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? Are there any questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We are going to page 73, and that would be New Haven Land Trust, Greater New Haven.
Sorry about that. Just had to figure out the controls. Good evening, Chair Brackeen and Vice Chair Hurt and members of the New Haven Board of Alders. My name is Brent Peter King. I'm the Executive Director of Gather New Haven. We are located at 817 Grant Avenue here in New Haven.
You have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you all for your compassionate and enduring commitment to the city of New Haven. We at Gather New Haven sincerely appreciate the opportunity to join you to discuss the Community Development Block Grant Funding Resource and the prospects of generating positive impacts amongst our youth and adult residents in New Haven. Gather New Haven is a social and environmental impact organization. Gather New Haven promotes health, equity, and justice for people and the environment by cultivating connections and access to our lands and waters, and by inspiring us to care for our well-being, our shared community, and our environment. Our work is conducted through a portfolio of managed properties, including urban farms, nature preserves, community gardens, and programs that include our farm-based wellness program, Growing Entrepreneurs program, the School and Environmental Education and Learn to Sail program. Gather New Haven was created through a merger involving New Haven Farms and New Haven Land Trust. The preceding organizations have nearly 40 years of combined history in New Haven. We are seeking $57,400 in support for our Growing Entrepreneurs program. Since its inception in 2014, the Growing Entrepreneurs program fostered youth development amongst high school age youth in New Haven. We've supported 51 students thus far. Students are encouraged to remain enrolled for up to 2 years. These students are employed by our organization throughout the calendar year, with the work hours increasing during several months of different youth that works. The fiscal year 2021-22 funding request supports the compensation at minimum wage for year-long employment for up to 14 high school age youth, which results in an annual compensation of $4,100 per student. Students are hired through a selective yet equitable process. This year, we received over 60 applications. Youth development is facilitated through entrepreneurial skills development, employment, professional development, skills development in carpentry, agriculture, and environmental education and stewardship. Youth employed through the Growing Entrepreneurs program are positioned to launch their business ventures,
1 minute,
urban farm properties, community gardens, and nature preserves under our management. Entrepreneurial thinking and job opportunities that provide professional experience during a child's formative years is a critical resource for personal and professional development in the 21st century. And we are dedicated and committed to this effort compassionately to supporting New Haven's youth through the Growing Entrepreneurs program. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Are there any questions from the committee? I do see Alder Kimberly Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have one quick question about your programming. You said you get some of the children through Youth at Work, correct?
Youth at Work does provide funding for the students through the Growing Entrepreneurs program.
Okay, and one of my other questions would be, for the youth that are in the program, how long do you follow them for? Or how long are they able to participate in your programming? And after they're done, do you follow up with them to make sure they stay in the course for a certain amount of time?
Sure. So it depends. So they're our primary point of contact. So sometimes it's difficult to communicate with teenagers for a long period of time. However, they are initially enrolled for 6 months and can remain enrolled for up to 2 years. We do have one student who's now in his 3rd year because he's appreciated the opportunities that have been afforded to him. This particular youth has started a built raised beds business, and he's been quite successful along with his student colleagues and continued on for a 3rd year.
Okay, thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any more questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you again for your testimony.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You too. We're going to stay at page 73. It will be the Y, the M, the C, the A. Please raise your hand. I do. I like it.
Good evening. My name is Erin Kelly. I'm the Interim Executive Director of the New Haven YMCA Youth Center, located at 50 House Street in New Haven.
Please, you have 3 minutes to speak, Erin. How are you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
I'm well, I'm well.
I wanted to say thank you for taking the time this evening to ensure that local nonprofits like the New Haven YMCA Youth Center are provided the vital support services needed in our New Haven community. The Y provides programming that empowers people and communities to learn, grow, and thrive, with a focus on youth development, healthy living, and social responsibility. In our school-age childcare programs, we offer a curriculum that aligns with the school year and supports growth in literacy, science, math, engineering, and technology, while infusing the arts and physical activity with fun. We teach children confidence, encourage self-expression, and enrich social development. For families, we offer a peace of mind knowing that your child is in a safe and educationally enriching program, which affords them opportunities for social interaction, building peer relationships, and making academic advancements. At the onset of the pandemic, the Y pivoted the way it delivered programming to ensure fluidity in an ever-changing world. Through the Y Learning Centers, we have continued to support our community by providing a safe, nurturing educational environment for youth to participate in remote learning through their schools. Y staff support the students in their academic learning and endeavors daily at the New Haven YMCA Youth Center. During the summer, this program will be transitioned to Camp Mount Laurel once the school year has concluded. One of our ultimate goals is to continually engage students while leveling the playing field throughout the summer. The summer learning program will continue to help mitigate learning loss and close the achievement gap that has only become more evident since the onset of the pandemic. It will provide the foundation for students to enter the 2021-22 school year more prepared after a summer full of hands-on, enriching learning opportunities. The summer learning program will run from the time school ends until it begins again in the fall. Our goal is to fund 50 children for the summer, in addition to the 50 that we've already planned for funding. With the support of the CDB.
1 minute.
The request is for $57,000, $786. As part of our request, we would use the funding for hiring local staff and then providing the necessary program supplies and financial assistance for parents to participate with their children at little to no cost.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think you had time to spare. Keep doing the great work over there.
Thank you.
I know all about it. And co-chair Alder Rakim knows well.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I want to speak here.
I'll do it to you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's that pass to you.
Erin, thank you so much for your time and dedication. Actually, I'd like to just clarify the obvious question I know members of the committee is looking at, which is why those funds were not spent from the prior year. As it was already stated, many of the child care organizations had to put a hold on many of the programs that were slated to happen. As you also know, I was part of leading the charge in opening several learning hubs across the region, alongside Erin Kelly, who's an awesome choice to have taken my role. So in terms of what we're looking at as proposed, this is the next step to the programming work that was previously discussed by this committee to expand our 32-acre camp in the Hamden Bethany area. And I say our because you never leave the Y, even though you leave the Y. So I will clarify that, and there's no need to put you on the spot for that.
Okay. Thank you.
So are there any questions from the committee for Erin at this time? Are there any questions for Erin from the committee at this time? Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate your time this evening.
I appreciate you. That was some Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen stuff just happened just now. Let y'all figure that out later on. LeBron to AD. So we're going to page 74. That would be Project More. And once again, our specialty, Ron Gizzy and Alice is hanging with us tonight. Thank you so much. Appreciate y'all. Project More.
That would be me. Good evening, everyone.
Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Keisha Gaddison. I am the director of the Reentry Welcome Center at Project More. Our address is 830 Grand Avenue, New Haven, Connecticut, 06511.
Thank you so much. You have 3 minutes.
I can take less than 3 minutes.
Okay.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for the opportunity to speak this evening. The Project More Reentry Welcome Center has well, first of all, I will say Project More has a 47-year history within the city of New Haven, serving the reentry population. The Project More Reentry Welcome Center has a unique model incorporating a one-stop shop for reentry. We are not only a resource hub, but we have shared space for our community providers. We have over 23 service providers that can come in and share space to provide services for our clients, services such as treatment for substance use disorder, treatment for mental health disorders, housing, rapid rehousing programs, therapy. We now have peer support sessions on Wednesday afternoons, and many other services that we provide. We have a clothing closet. We have many other services for our clients. As well, we are the sole drop-off location for people who are re-entering the city of New Haven from incarceration. So they are dropped off at our doorstep. We have been able to provide services since June until now for over 83 clients. We were able to provide housing for 70% of those clients. And so far, things are going extremely well. We hope to continue within the city of New Haven. And on that note, I will open up for any questions.
Thank you. I have one. How much are you asking for?
I believe the initial request is for $86,000. And that is for continued funding. It's basically gap funding to provide staffing for the case manager as well as the director for the remainder of the year up until 2022.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the committee? I have Alder Kimberly Albert.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I'm kind of piggybacking off of your question, I believe. You said it's gap funding. So is that why there's no leverage funding or like no other income or grants received because it's gap funding? Or are there just no other funding sources available to you at this point?
So I think that might be I'm sorry, those are my dogs.
That's all right.
I apologize. Just in the interest of time. So I will say, I think that may be a misunderstanding. We have received COVID funds from the city, from the Community Foundation, where we were able to provide new technology for our clients. And just to let you know, that technology included computers. We have a small computer lab for our clients, as well as a television for those who cannot utilize. We have a smart TV for those who cannot utilize the computers yet. We have training programs for them. We also were able to purchase clothing, Uber passes, and food for our clients. So there is actual different leverage funding as well.
Thank you very much. I have no further questions, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. I'm very familiar with Project More. Thank you for all that you do for this city. Please continue on doing the great work. Are there any questions from the committee? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
You're welcome. So we go on to page 75, and that will be the Greater New Haven OIC. Greater New Haven OIC, page 75. Mr. Lampkin. That has my number on speed dial. Okay.
You're muted, Mr. Chair.
Thank you so much. We're gonna move forward. I think he perhaps having one of those nights like I'm having, technical difficulties. So we're gonna stay on page 75 and we're gonna go to Winning Ways. Winning Ways Inc. Please state your name, address for the record, and you have 3 full minutes to speak if you choose to.
Sure. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
All right. My name is Andrew Rudente. I represent the Vice President of the Board of Winning Ways. We're at 1574 State Street, New Haven. And I'd like to talk about our program we'd like to provide. So Winning Ways is an organization that's dedicated to reshaping the lives of both those struggling with the legal system and returning from incarceration, but also those struggling with substance abuse. And about 5 years ago, myself and 2 of my close friends who are also here, Kevin Paul and Mr. Benjamin Backus, founded this organization because we'd all come from a place where we were given a miraculous second chance at life, and we hope to pay that forward. And so we requested approximately $60,000 of funding to roll out our Winning Circle course series. We have a men's empowerment, a women's empowerment, and a financial literacy course. We very much would love to provide these for other organizations, including Project More, and we've worked with Emerge Connecticut so far. We hope to reach about 120 individuals in our first year. So far, we've worked with about 3 dozen individuals. And generally, our programs postulate to decrease or improve a lot of the very sobering statistics and lives of those either in the legal system, coming out of prison, or struggling with substance use, such as relapse, recidivism, emotional control and thought paradigms and things like that. And so so far we've done really wonderful work. I mean, I can't take much credit, but Kevin and all the other members of our organization have done really amazing work so far with working with this population, and we hope to continue to provide such services. And this is, we're a very new organization, so pardon me, this is very new to me.
Well, you sound like a pro. You did well. You did well. You didn't carry on. You stayed under the 3-minute mark and giving people a chance to ask questions if they have them or comments. So, are there anyone from the committee have a question or comment in reference to this particular program? Seeing none, hope you have great success with this particular program. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have next up, Believe in Me.
Page, please.
Alice?
68.
Okay, I was wondering, since y'all here, I might as well, reach out. Page 68, I don't want y'all to go to sleep for me. Page 68, Believe in Me.
Hello?
Yeah.
I'm here. Hi.
Okay, state your name, address for the record. We can't see you, James, but it's okay.
James Walker, business 423 Dixville Avenue, New Haven, Connecticut. I'm calling in because I was listed on tonight's agenda as far as we applied for public service. I believe we received $10,000 for public service. We are put in for quite a bit more, and I understand everything is tight these days, so you don't get what you want all the time. I understand that, and I could accept that. But we serve a lot of clients in our community, and we do house clients. We serve at least 100-something clients per year. People live with us at least 3 months, 35 people each quarter. We house them. We help support them with food. We also give them therapy, individual counseling, case management, job searching, assist with transportation. We do support groups for male and females. And we also do community stuff. Like this year during COVID, we did a couple of food drives with the other churches in the community, St. Mansfield, Vera, Mount Gilead, and ourselves. We all came together. So basically, each client, so the money, what I wanted to give at least each client at least $100 per month for the time they stay in here. They need beds, we get dressers, we do the bedding, we do the personal care package for each client. So basically, I'm just calling in to see if I get a little bit more support with those clients. Several years ago, we used to get $30,000 a year. Like I said, times are hard, times have changed. We skipped that 1 year because we didn't apply for.
1 minute.
We was trying to get the building zone for dormitory, a custodial care facility. We were successful doing that. But however, when we came back the next year, it dropped us each year since then. And we've been serving more clients since then. Thank God we have some personal real estate or something to help us offset that. Because without that, we probably would have been closed down. Also, I'll give you an example. A young lady was walking through our neighborhood
20
last
seconds.
week, nowhere to go. She was concerned, she was pregnant, she was sleeping on the bench. If our doors was open, we wouldn't be able to contact other resources to connect her to for services. So I thank God our phone still ring. I thank her.
10 seconds.
We're able to go in need, not all the time, but we try.
Thank you. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your commitment to Save New Haven. Thank you so much. Are there any questions for Mr. Walker? Any comments? Alder Winter.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Walker. Could you say how many more clients are you serving now than you were serving in the past?
Well, when we started with we started as a reentry program as far as not even housing. Just people getting out of jail and giving them a food voucher so they could go get something to eat and a clothing voucher. We served at least 100 more clients at this time. Not besides, we just serve our clients. We serve whoever knocks on our door. If it's possible, not just New Hallville, the Hill, Westville, whoever knock on the door, we try to help or guide them somewhere. Our clients.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Are there any more questions for Mr. Walker? Seeing none, thank you once again for your commitment to the city of New Haven, New Hallville. We will be moving on to sickle cell. Page number Allison, or Ron.
Screen frozen.
74. I'm sorry, I'm mute.
Page 74.
I'm still here.
Page 74, sickle cell.
Here I am, Jim Rawlings is here.
Absolutely, Mr. Jim Rawlings is here. Mr. Jim Rawlings, you have to state your name, address for the record, and please, Mr. Rawlings, if you can hold your testimony to 3 minutes, it'd be greatly appreciated.
You telling me that, huh? James Rawlings, and my address is 9 Mountford Road, New Haven. We do business at 1389 Chapel Street in New Haven. And the first thing I want to say is I want to say thank you for this entire board. Our story is a story of success. You know, this board helped us build Michelle's House, the first facility in the Northeast for the sickle cell community. Last week, the state decided that we were the best sickle cell program in the state, They gave us entire statewide authorization. So no longer are we in Southern Connecticut, now we are statewide. We got a grant the other day around social equity and transformation around sickle cell disease. But I'm asking here today because you've taken so many gambles on us. We want to move away from waiting for a cure for sickle cell disease. We've been waiting for 125 years. And all we do right now is take opioids and dilute it for our clients. We want to start to do screening in our communities so that those who have sickle cell trait will know it. They don't know it now. They have babies, the babies suffer. We need minimally to cover the cost of doing sickle cell trait training in our community. That drives us into prevention. We can stop this cycle of having children not knowing we have sickle cell trait, and therefore we have a child with sickle cell disease who suffers their entire life. The good news is that right now, the ceiling for sickle cell disease is 40 years of age. But because we have the strongest program in the state, Bridgeport, for example, only has 13% of its patients getting past 40. Hartford has 21. New Haven has 35 because our programs are so strong. We did not have one patient in the hospital during the COVID vaccine, the COVID pandemic, because we held their hand. We had a psychiatrist, we have social workers, we do everything we can to protect our community. But I'm appealing to you. We have to stop this waiting for
1 minute.
The pandemic told us one thing. The pandemic came into the United States. In 6 months, there was a cure. Sickle cell has been around for 125 years and hasn't had the kind of resources. So we have to take this in our own hands and figure out how we prevent babies being born with sickle cell disease through awareness. I'm pleading for your help, as you have always given us, to make this continue to make a successful program. Thank you.
I believe my co-chair would like to speak on this particular item.
Oh, I was actually waving to security staff, but Mr. Jim Rawlings is great. The organization is wonderful, and it is my understanding that one of my leadership of my ward is here, almost Dr. Sharon Jones McCann is also here to represent the organization as its board chair. Just keep up the good work.
Oh, absolutely. There's no two ways about it. I can't say enough about my guy. That's my guy. He knows what it is, Mr. Jim Rawlings. Are there any questions or comments? Hi, Ms. Jones. How you doing, Sharon? Always wonderful to see you smile. Is there anyone has any questions for the sickle cell? Seeing none. Thank you for your testimony. Thank you for your testimony. I know it's a late hour of the night. Thank you for hanging out with us. I greatly appreciate you holding on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're gonna go back one, right? We'll go back to the Greater New Haven, OIC. We're gonna ask I believe it's Reverend Florenstein going to speak to this particular item. OIC, Greater New Haven. No? Okay, so with that being said, are there any more testifying for CDBG money tonight? Okay, so we have one. No, we have three. We have three. We have two. Okay, so state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name, address for the record, and what organization what organization you from?
My name is Marcus Cherry, and I'm with Career Resources.
Thank you. 1 second. Ron, what page number is that?
68.
Page 68. Mr. Cherry, you have 3 minutes to speak.
First and foremost, good evening, everyone. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. Again, my name is Marcus Cherry, Director of Workforce Development for Career Resources. The program I'm primarily responsible for overseeing is the Strive New Haven program, which teaches participants not only the best methods to find and obtain employment, but also the best practices to advance in their careers once they are employed. Our program targets folks dealing with a multitude of factors that contribute to unemployment. These factors can include educational disparities, homelessness, poverty, substance abuse, as well as previous incarceration history, just to name a few. And as many of you may know, over the last year, the COVID pandemic has drastically changed the way organizations provide services. And Career Resources itself has managed to adjust its service model to continue to serve many of the residents inside the city of New Haven. Our services still and will continue to include our ability to produce and present our virtual version of Strive Online, which will include our case management support, our full 3-week signature training, as well as our job placement assistance. Our technical online capability allows us to continuously enhance the employability service we offer New Haven residents who otherwise may not have access to those online development opportunities. With your support, we can continue to offer New Haven residents the coaching, on-the-job training, and skill developments that offer work opportunities in hospitality, construction, and administration. And through this, candidates can transition to the workplace successfully and leverage the skills and competence that they've built inside of our program. Over the last 3 quarters, we've been able to successfully work with over 30 participants and have successfully placed 12 of those in work opportunities. In closing, I would like to thank you guys for your time, effort, and attention, and I will be happy to answer any and all of your questions.
Thank you so much. How much are you asking for?
$10,000.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from the committee for Mr. Cherry? Thank you for your testimony once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Seeing none, we're going to New Haven Reads. New Haven Reads. Please, okay. New Haven Reads, please state your name, address for the record, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is Cassia Williams, and our address is 45 Bristol Street, New Haven, Connecticut. Okay, so thank you all for having me here tonight. I know it's a long day, night. So thank you very much for the opportunity to present to you this evening. My name is Cassie Williams. I'm the Assistant Education Director for New Haven Reads. New Haven Reads is grateful for the past support from the City of New Haven for our one-on-one literacy tutoring program. We're here today to ask you to continue to and increase this support. New Haven Reads provides one-on-one based literacy programs for struggling readers. All of our programs are free. Our program is highly effective. This is demonstrated by assessment data, parent accolades, and our students' proud smiles. Prior to the pandemic, we worked with over 550 children every week. Whether a child can read or not in a very real way determines his or her destiny. On average, 55% of third graders who are struggling with reading will fail to graduate from high school without an intervention like New Haven Reads. A child who learns to read is more likely to finish high school, to go to college, to get a good job, and be a taxpayer. He will have better health outcomes, and he is much less likely to be incarcerated. New Haven Reads changes the trajectory of students' lives. Our literacy programs more than pay for themselves down. Last spring, we pivoted to a fully online learning program. We are now working with almost 300 students every week. We gave laptops to students and have provided internet connectivity to families. We distributed bags of supplies, including headphones and whiteboards to support students learning from home. Our pre-K and kindergarten program supports critical pre-literacy learning skills. And our book bank has distributed thousands of books to build up home libraries. Last summer, we distributed books to families at food pantries across the city. This summer, we will offer in-person tutor online. We will offer in-person as well as online tutoring. We have been supporting our students in every way we can. Before COVID-19, there were persistent achievement gaps and profound inequalities in our education system. This pandemic has made it worse. Early research studies demonstrate that although students are experiencing learning loss at this time, it is students of color and low-income students who are most affected. Our students
40 seconds.
Are all amazing young men and women aged 4 to 18 who are working hard to become confident and successful readers. 95% of our students are Black or brown, and 89% are low income or very low income. To be a strong, vibrant, flourishing city, our children must be able to read, and New Haven Reads is an important part of that work. I hope we can count on your support. Thank you, and I'm happy to take your questions.
Thank you so much for what you do and what you do for the community. Very, very aware of what's going on at New Haven Reads, a great program. Are there any questions or comments from the committee? Seeing none, thank you again. I remember when Bruce Alexander and actually his wife started New Haven Reads program. I've been around that long. I'm telling my age now. But I just want to say thank you for what you do. And just for clarification, how much is you asking for? How much you asking for?
So traditionally we ask for 40,000.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been told it's been adjusted to 20.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have, I believe, one more. Iris. Iris,
Hi, good evening.
you're sideways, Iris.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Is this better?
Much better.
Okay, great.
Allison is really happy at this point. Thank you so much. Please state your name, address for the record, and you have a full 3 minutes to speak.
Okay.
Allison, what page? Or Ron?
71.
Thanks, Alder Edwards.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Chair and Vice Chair. Good evening. My name is Camille Kurtzman. My address is 179 Maple Street in New Haven. I'm a case manager at IRIS. I manage a small team of case managers who specifically work with non-refugee immigrants in the New Haven community. We are part of the CCIF, which stands for Coalition for Immigrant Freedom, which seeks to provide legal representation for New Haven residents facing deportation. We work together with New Haven Legal Aid and Assistance in this project. Funding for the last 8 years has tremendously helped IRIS provide services to over 1,500 clients served each year. Historically, we have used CDBG funding to provide employment assistance, where we placed approximately 20 to 30 immigrants in jobs every month. When COVID-19 has changed many of our operations, illuminating disparities not only within our refugee clients, but our non-refugee immigrant clients as well. In 2020 alone, our caseload for non-refugee immigrants, including asylum seekers, asylees, and undocumented immigrants, grew from 166 new clients in 2019 to 466 new clients in 2020. It is only the spring of 2021, and we are already at 142 new clients. Immigrants, and especially immigrants of color, disproportionately bear the burden of hospitalizations and mortality due to COVID-19, making it difficult for them to work and pay bills. They face evictions, deportations, medical insecurity, lack of food, and lack of employment. Our funding through this grant will be used to support low-income non-refugee immigrants resettling in New Haven. IRIS has provided this kind of support to refugees since 1982. Case managers will assist these non-refugee immigrants in finding housing, food assistance, healthcare, education, job training, and employment. IRIS is gearing up to welcome a significant increase in refugees with the Biden-Harris administration. However, we want to make sure that we are providing the same level of high-quality care to our growing case list of non-refugee immigrant clients. According to Data Haven, 17% of New Haven residents are immigrants, and that number continues to increase. Not only is it the right thing to do in supporting some of these most vulnerable community members of our city, but also because immigrants strengthen our communities and make us a more welcoming city. So thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? Thank you for all the hard work that you've been doing. Thank you so much.
Again, thanks for the support.
So no, before you go, how much are you asking for?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask that because I'm a case manager, and I did not write this grant.
You didn't ask for 100,000, 200,000?
Probably.
Okay, well, Ron Gizzy would know. How much did they ask for?
45,994, and the mayor proposed 10,000.
Okay. Okay, now we got the numbers. Thank you so much.
All right, take care.
So we have, I think, just 10 more to go. No, actually, that's the last one of the night. Before I turn it back over to the co-chair, thank you for your patience with me tonight. We've been having some technical difficulties with my system tonight, with me and Al, the guru. Try to fix it as much as we can, but thank you for being patient and being here tonight, honestly. But this is software, as you know. It's you pull in from somewhere, you pull in from somewhere else, right? This is a little difference in hardware, right? You got to really think this through as you try to do your deliberations. I'm going to turn it over to the co-chair to let you know the dates and when the amendment's going to start and all that kind of stuff. But once again, thank you, committees. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
And thank you, Mr. Co-Chair. You did a phenomenal job bringing us through this process. So, to the Joint Committee, you'll be receiving a follow-up email from Mr. Lucas, who has also done a phenomenal job in arranging all of the things that we needed to get done this year. So thank you, Mr. Lucas. You have finished hearing testimony on the mayor's recommendations and the proposals presented by the nonprofit organizations for this year. You'll receive a spreadsheet attached to your email along with a how to propose an amendment guide. All of us have been through this process before. You can easily just kind of type in your search box how to propose an amendment, and it's likely it'll come back up. It's the same instructions. And as simple as Alder Wingate has posed it, is as simple as it gets with the software portion. We will convene for deliberations on May 27th at 7 p.m., which means we have quite a bit of time ahead of us. But there is a deadline for amendments. I'm going to say it 3 times. The deadline for amendments are as follows. May 13th at 5 p.m., it should be submitted to the Office of Legislative Services utilizing the spreadsheet and the how-to guide that you'll receive in the email. May 13th at 5 p.m. via email, or if you'd like to print it out, I'm sure that would be fun. Office of Legislative Services. Again, that's May 13th, 5 p.m.
Second.
All right. So there is no no backup plan after the 13th. That's it. After that date, it'll be in the hands of my my esteemed co-chair and myself, so that we could begin the compromise. I saw a hand.
Yes.
Alder Douglas.
Yes, thank you. I just want to commend you all, chairs, co-chairs, vice chairs, and the rest of the committee on the tremendous job you've done tonight. Makes me feel good to see that we're moving forward, as always. At this time, I'd like to maintain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We're hearing a motion to adjourn and it's been seconded, but I would, Alder Wingate, did you have anything else to say? Or did anyone else have any questions before we do that?
Yeah, as we roll back a little bit to discussion, is there anyone else have any questions about the process? Third officer. No questions. Okay.
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, I'll turn it back over to you, Alder, to close us out.
Okay, we'll entertain the motion on the floor to adjourn. Hearing it moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. I heard everybody, so good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good job.
Thank you, timekeeper. Appreciate you. Ron.
Yes, I'm here.
I'll be reaching out, man.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know
We'll be
how-
around.
Yeah. Hopefully I'll be seeing you walk through the hallways of Foxwood soon, man.
Yeah, I know. It's been a long time.
You know?
Long time.
Are we visiting whatever living room you're in right now? Because that's pretty nice.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This is, I'm telling you, this has been the craziest night with the Zoom. I'm at City Hall. I'm sitting at Al's desk right now. This is so crazy, but Al hooked this up because it's been going, this was crazy night, man, with the Zoom. Everything was just stopping all at the same time.
Yep.
But I do the color scheme. It's kind of tight though, with the grays and everything.
Yeah, it's nice.
It looks great.
Have a wonderful night.